All right, folks, welcome back to BEG Wrestling. We are here with Wrestle Madness here today, folks, to discuss the 142 to 149 pound GOAT bracket. And we're joined by the BEG co-host Kevin, Aaron, and none other than Jake Herbert. Okay, Jake Herbert, a quarterfinalist in the previous 177 to 184 pound bracket. Jake, I believe you fell to Mark Schultz there in the quarterfinals. Eventually, Cale Sanderson went on to win that. But thanks for joining us, everyone. Folks, this is an incredible bracket. Arguably, Kevin, you said your favorite bracket here so far in the GOAT Wrestle Madness. Folks, go to WrestleMatness.com. You can sign up and vote for your results as well. We got some big names in this bracket. Yanni Diakomahalis, Zane Rutherford. But, gentlemen, I want to just go down the line here, our first round matchups, and toss my first intriguing one out there, which is Zach Esposito against Troy Steiner, the 17 and 16 matchup. Esposito won 120-12 career record and a 4-time team champion at Oklahoma State, going up against Steiner, the Iowa Hall of Famer, 92 champ, also finished 2nd, 3rd, and 5th, 4-time AA'er, and obviously coach of the freestyle women's team. But fellas, in very intriguing matchup, and I'm a big Steiner fan, but I got to tell you, I got Esposito moving on here. Kevin, Jake, Aaron, let's start to you guys.
Yeah, that 16-17 matchup is always intriguing because they're so close in their records, in their stats, and in awards. I have the same thing. I have Esposito winning that one. Maybe because I'm more familiar. I've seen his matches live, but I'm going with you on that one.
All right, what are some other intriguing first-round matchups here? Let's go around the horn here. Kevin?
Well, there's so many. I think that Molinaro and Caldwell is a great one. Caldwell just with the one loss at the beginning of the year, and then he comes back and beats Metcalf. And then Molinaro during his undefeated season. I also, looking at this, Metzger and Dustin Schlater is a great matchup. Man, there's just fire going right down this list as you're going through it.
Okay, so you have Caldwell moving on there, though, right? You mentioned.
Yes. Yep.
You didn't see, who do you have moving on here in the 7 and 26 seed between Metzger and Schlater?
I got Schlater, and I believe that was his freshman year, and he was just lights out his freshman year, and he was healthy. Unfortunately, he seemed to have some health issues after that for the rest of his career. Freshman year, he was just tough as nails. So yeah, I have him moving on. I also really like the Jesse Jansen, Jared Lawrence matchup first round too. Jesse Jansen was just a bear on top with that crab ride, and his only loss that year was when he moved up a weight class to wrestle. I believe it was someone that was either a national finalist or a national champ, and that was his only loss all year. So he's undefeated in the weight class. So I really like Jansen as well.
All right, Jake, what about you, man? You have to agree with all those, right, so far?
It's so tough, right? Because you talk about like my first initial thought is like, where's Cal Dake in this weight class, But like obviously the guys ranges from every single one, because if you take freshman year Dustin Schlater, undefeated coming in, right? Just same thing like freshman year Imar versus senior year Imar, right? Like it kind of baffles that, and like you're like looking at it as like peaking and like all these guys are so good. It could be the difference of like a bad travel or a bad weight cut or like a girlfriend breaking up with them or just the flu or sickness or just a weird accident, which could be the difference between them winning or losing.
Oh yeah, and when you're talking about the GOAT here, that can make all the difference.
That's what I love about it. Yeah, exactly. So you have to assume like, all right, let's take all of them at their peak, right? Let's take Dustin Schlater when he was at his absolute best, right? Like Jesse Jansen and Lawrence, like Lawrence they've wrestled, right? A lot of these guys have like then they want to meet at world team trials, when competing for that 65 kilo spot or the Olympic trials. So you got to take all that stuff into play too. So that's what makes it so fun.
Yeah, it definitely makes it difficult to predict here. One other first-round matchup I just want to mention, the Brett Metcalf and Kevin Dresser, obviously Iowa State head coach there, but Metcalf, interestingly enough, followed Tom Brands from Virginia Tech to Iowa in 2006. And during the season, won the Hodge and defeated Jordan Burroughs in the semifinals that season. So I believe everyone probably has Metcalf moving on. But then, interestingly enough, it puts him up against Darian Caldwell, which would be a rematch, folks, of the match in 2009 between these two. So could we foresee the 3 seed going down here in the second round of this tournament?
That's the way I have it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, Caldwell had his number.
It's
Caldwell had his number.
Metcalf's the year before too, right? So it's Metcalf in 08 versus Caldwell of 09. So you got to figure Metcalf was better in 09 than he was in 08. And Caldwell still beat him. So I don't know. That's the way I look at it.
It's the only a logical way to think about it in my terms. But yeah, so what bad matchup for Brett Metcalf, now getting knocked out in the second round. But I want to move up here and back to the first round because, Kevin, you were talking about TJ Williams and this 99 season, but I have him going up against Pat Santoro in the second round. And to me, that's a tough matchup because Santoro, the 2-time champ, but Kevin, why don't you touch on TJ Williams' career? A little, to me, maybe underrated.
Yeah, TJ Williams has one career loss, 99-1, and that one loss was to a fellow from Boise State there that actually was able to. He actually did the lose first round and got third. Only he lost in a pigtail and won 8 matches in a row to get third. And then the following year, he ended up wrestling TJ Williams in the semis and beat him in overtime. And that's TJ Williams' only career loss. He was extremely tough, very athletic, and very underrated. I agree with you. I mean, to have one career loss in college is unbelievable. So yeah, I actually have him at versus Santoro as well in the second round, but I got TJ Williams winning that one.
Yeah, Santoro is a legend here in Pittsburgh, and that would be a great matchup to see in real life. But I think TJ's just too slick. He gets past Santoro as well.
No, I agree. I have TJ Williams moving on to the quarterfinals to face Yanni. I want one more first round matchup I want to touch on. Then Jake, I want to throw it to you for your first round thoughts and then we'll move on. But it's Kerry Cole at the 6th seed up against Jason. Help me say his name there. And Jake, I know you know how to say his last name.
Yeah, everybody wants to call it T-shirts, which is the proper way to do it. But no, the correct way is Surtsis.
Surtsis. Jason Surtsis, okay, the 27 seed. Now, interestingly enough, has the second highest all-time winning percentage at Northwestern behind, I don't know if you've heard of him, Jake Herbert, right? Yeah. Okay. But this is an interesting matchup. But Kerry Cole, if you look up his career, started at Penn State, moves on to Lock Haven, the 2-time champ, 111-7 career. And I just want to throw this out there. This is a fact. My younger brother, Corey, was named after Kerry Cole. My dad, who was his favorite wrestler, and just thought his name was Corey and named him Corey, and it's Kerry. And that's a fact. He was named after Kerry Cole, but it's Corey. And so, we have trouble with names on BEG Wrestling. So, hey, it goes way back, folks. It's not a mistake, but I do have I got Cole moving on and Larry Owings, facing Larry Owings in the second round. But Jake, did we miss anything in the first round there?
No, I think you guys covered all of them. I look in here too, right? Alan Freed, that's going to be interesting when you take, him and Terrapelli is a great one. Terrapelli was a great wrestler, but Freed and of course Zane and Leroy Smith, right? Like, God, there's so many great first rounds. This would be awesome to really play out, but it's going to be interesting to see how this continues to go in, especially when you have like a Freed Colat rematch there, or Freed and Schlater when they get in there, or like how does Colat Zane do? Right, those guys' styles are so freaking similar.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's literally. I mean, you could probably trace their wrestling heritage back. They've been coached by similar people. Being in the PA area.
Jake, I got to say, interestingly enough, I have that as my semifinal matchup on that half of the bracket, Kolot and Zane. So I have Zane moving on. I actually have Metzger. They named a move after Metzger. You guys don't give him any respect and have him losing first round. That's unbelievable. Anyway, Caldwell beating Metcalf. Bad matchup for Metcalf. And then I have Kolot beating Larry Owings and then Kolot beating Caldwell. I mean, to move on against Zane. Does anyone disagree with that maybe?
That's exactly what I
Yeah, I see Colette making it through there too. It'd be a different story, right? If Metcalf Colette go at it, because that could be a coin toss. I think Metcalf style might match up a little bit better against Colette's, but like when you go talk about style matchups, man, he just Codwell just had Metcalf's number.
Yeah, no,
sucks.
I agree. Kind of a matchup thing.
Yeah.
So seeding is important here. Now I want to move on the top half. We already kind of mentioned Yanni and TJ Williams there in the top half quarterfinals. In the bottom half, I have Daryl Burley and Daryl Keller. Okay, right? Daryl Burley is a stud, two-time champ, four-time finalist, 95 and 5 career. Okay, let's talk about Daryl Burley a little bit, right?
Yeah, let's go back to that first round matchup, because that one, digging in, really intrigued me. I wrestled for Edinburgh, so I kind of lean the Borough direction. But Burley, as you mentioned, has quite a resume, and I went back and watched some video of Burley. Very quick, great on his feet. He's second at Lehigh in takedowns. But again, going back to what Jake was talking about, prime year, that Gillespie year, he was on fire, and he was so fast with that low single. I had Gillespie upsetting Burley in that first round.
Okay,
Me too.
I
I
love
think
it.
he's stronger, he's faster in that year, and no disrespect to Burley, because he definitely has the accolades, but Gillespie in that year when he won it was untouchable.
Okay, Jake, what's your thoughts? Who'd you have on that?
I think it's just such a biased, right? And I want to say biased, like, I don't know, going back, like wrestling is definitely different, right? It's evolved with the times, right? It's the same thing. Like I remember on my football game, right? You pick the 85 Bears because they're undefeated, only team to ever lose in the season. But the 85 Bears, they wouldn't win a first round playoff in 2023. Right? Like they're going to get destroyed. Like it just the sport, the people have evolved so much, right? So much from the fridge back then. He's like average size now, right?
Yeah.
Like he's not even like that. Like it's just you're talking 40 years of evolution, right? That you're competing against in training and science and everything else that goes into it. So I can 100% agree with that, right? It just was a different time when you get these back in the old days, right? Back in this time period.
Yeah.
And they're still that's what's so amazing and so fun about this, right? Because Gregor that year, the bracket he won was insane, right?
Yeah.
It was insane. Everybody that he beat and who came out of it and how many national champions and things were in there, and that's what I love about this weight class. Like, God bless. I don't know what it is. I'm a little biased, being a bigger guy, but it's really rare that you see the number one 184, 197 pounder, like not just kind of dismantle the number 10 or 11 or 12 guy, right? Like he's going to beat him by 4 or 5 takedowns, maybe even tech him, maybe even pin him. It's super dominant. But at this weight class, like you're number one in 8 guys, you're like a 1-point match. It's like so close to get to that. Like, I mean, this international weight is just such a big example of that, right? You look at the Olympics this year at this weight class, like 65 kilos. Got you wrestle that bracket 10 more times and different outcomes. Like it was unbelievable.
Okay, well, all right. You guys are falling victim to the recency bias here. I'm representing that. If you like that, you're going to love that. My Daryl Keller pick, right, from 71. And interestingly enough, maybe you guys might have him losing the first round as well. He only had a 12-2 record, but it was the outstanding wrestler of the year that year. And I know we have some Ashnault fans in here too, so can't imagine anyone would disagree with me on that either, right, Aaron?
Yeah, I guess I kind of already showed my cards on that one, but just again, only 27 3 career. They just didn't wrestle that many matches back then. A lot of them only had 2 years of eligibility. You couldn't wrestle as a freshman. You weren't eligible. So some had 3 years of competition. A lot of them only had 2 years of competition. He made the finals both years that he was eligible and won it both years.
He did.
One at the lower weight class, and then in '71 bumping up to the 142-pound weight class and winning that. So, yeah, I respect what he did. I just I think Asphalt maybe went through the gauntlet a little bit more and would just beat him on just outlast him in this match.
I will mention though that season was his 6th year of eligibility. So I don't know.
Yes.
Just throwing that out there.
That is fair. I'm gonna have to reconsider my picks.
What's that, Jake?
Nothing wrong with extra years of eligibility. We call it victory lap.
Yeah. All right, so let's go around. Kevin, who do you have on in the quarterfinals there on specifically maybe that quarter there?
I had Keller beat National. I had Jansen beating Lawrence. Larkin over Hughes, and then I did have Gillespie over Burley. I just wanted to point out real quick that bracket that Gillespie won. You had Dustin Schlater who was on a sophomore year, and he was on a 68 match winning streak when Gregor beat him. And he also had Jordan Burroughs and Dustin Schlater first round match in that bracket. That's how tough that bracket was. And Dustin won 3-2 first round. It's crazy. And then, you had JP O'Connor, Jordan Lean, just a crazy bracket. Josh Terrell, I mean, just nuts. So that's why I got that. But then I have, let's see, I got Gregor versus Jansen. I picked Jansen.
Okay.
As far as you want. Okay.
Yeah, he was the outstanding wrestler of that year, 3-time AA, only 1-time champ. But man, that is a tough quarter of the bracket to pick there. I'll go down my semifinalists were Yanni, Burley, Kerry Colott, and Zane, and I have Yanni and Zane moving on to the finals. Let's go, Jake. What are your semifinals and finals matchups?
Yeah, I had Yanni getting through there, and then I had Jesse getting through too. I don't know. It's just so tough. I had him against Lawrence in that year. Like I know Lawrence, I think, has a couple more wins over him, but Jesse was just a freaking beast from Harvard. And he's almost unstoppable that time. It just reminds me a lot of the '84 winner last year, Parker, right? Just from from Northern Iowa. There, the guy's just light years ahead of everybody else, but maybe getting outshined by everyone else. But he's freaking unstoppable. Can't wait to see him and Carter go at it.
I was gonna say
that'll be a future GOAT match, and we're gonna see it. We get to see it live. Yeah, I have Yanni there. They're moving on. It'd be tough because I don't know. Like Yanni games. Like when is the NCAA tournament? It was game time, and that's what it comes down to. But if it's Yanni and Jesse in a regular season match of that year, like Jesse's just on a roll, and that's what he's doing. So I have Yanni there in the finals on that side. But I just was so torn down below. Does Zane actually beat Colott? Does Colott beat Zane? So it was almost like a toss up, and I'm picking Colott. Just nostalgia or whatnot. I'm just gonna say my big thing on that is just international. Right, like Colott got the medals. Zane hasn't been able to get that. I know he's world championship at 70, but the Olympic medals and that stuff too. Like that's a different story. And I know he's at a different weight class, but I don't know. I almost want to go old school for that one. And I love Zane too. Zane is almost probably a better human being off the mat than he is on the mat, and that's tough to say because that guy's a freaking monster on the mat. And he is a great human being, but I don't know. Part of me wants to go that old school Colott because that's what I grew up idolizing. Versus Zane's a little younger than me. Zane's gonna disagree, which everybody in this bracket should disagree, right? You interview and ask every single one of them. They're like, I'm winning this freaking bracket. Why not? I'm not losing anything.
Yeah.
I love mindset, it. Right?
Yes. I love it. Okay, Kevin, what about you?
I got the same thing Jake has. I got Colott over Zane, and I got Yanni over Jansen, but man, I struggled with those big time. I think Yanni like Jake said, I mean, the guy's 20-0 at NCAAs, and if Yanni's my favorite wrestler. Obviously I'm a Cornell fan, and Yanni's he lives down the road from me. He grew up down the road from me. He just knows how to win. He gets it done, and I think his style would be really tough. It would be really tough for Jansen to take him down, and I think he would avoid bottom at all costs. So I don't think the match would be wrestled with Yanni not being on bottom at all. I don't think he would choose bottom, and I don't think that he would get taken down. So I think I give Yanni the advantage on that.
Interesting analysis. Okay. Aaron?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're all on the same page here. Now, I am going to reserve my right, and I'm going to collect all the data that you guys have skewed to determine who's going to win this final. But I have Yanni versus Colat in the final as well, same as the rest of your semis. And yeah.
Wow. Well, I have Zane in the finals and Yanni winning it. So I never would I have guessed I'm the only Zane guy in the finals here. That's crazy. Did we give champions? You guys want to give your champions? You want to make everyone go vote? Because to me, this is going to be the most important bracket for people to go vote for, because there's just so many 50-50 matchups here. I could see this bracket going a number of different ways here.
How much does it change if you throw Dake in this too? Right? That's what's nuts down there too, right? But you got to factor that stuff in, right? Of hey, he's up in the 157 one. I guess 150 upward.
No, he's in the 165 because he beat Taylor, and that's his outstanding wrestler award.
Yeah,
at 165. So yeah, that 165 pound weight bracket is going to bring a lot of true goats to head.
This is where I contribute a lot of my success to. I'm if you really want to be a good wrestler, wrestle bigger, get bigger, because it's gosh, when you're down at that there's just something about men from 130 pounds to 170 pounds. There's just so many of them that are so competitive. Just once you get past that 170, it's really easy to easier to stand out.
Yeah, there is more of a variance, it seems like. I would agree.
I agree with you. It's tough, man. I remember in high school, I used to beat our heavyweight that won sectionals pretty badly, but yet it was really hard for me to, because I was in that 140-pound weight class, but we could always beat up on the 215-pounders. It's just weird.
It is. Isn't that funny? Yeah, I remember the 1 year was the Whitfield finals. It was my younger cousin against Mark McKnight's little brother. And Mark McKnight being 125-pounder is no doubt in his mind. You put him out there on the mat against his little brother, even though it's his little big brother, a Whitfield champ in the finals. Marky's I'm beating that guy. Right? He's not beating me. No way.
Giving up 60 pounds.
Yeah, 100. Yeah, exactly. More than 100 pounds. Literally 100 pounds.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, folks, this is as competitive as they get here in Wrestle Madness GOAT competition here, 142 to 149. Go to WrestleMatness.com now to vote. Aaron, when does everyone have until to vote?
We'll put this preview show out and release the bracket simultaneously. We usually leave voting up for a week, so
okay.
We don't really have a due date on that quite yet.
All right, folks. So it's going to be out, but you're just going to want to log in. You're going to sign up at Wrestle Madness now. That way you're already registered for all the brackets as they happen, including the upcoming NCAA season. So, Jake, thanks for joining us. Aaron, Kevin, I appreciate all your time, and I'm excited to vote for this bracket, and I'm going to have to sway some people to vote for the people that I argued and made cases for. That way I don't, kind of build some credibility after this.
Does everybody have Yanni, or does anybody have Colat or winning it?
I have Yanni, but I'm the only one who said it. They don't want to say him, Kevin. We're holding.
I'm not saying yet.
We're holding.
Okay.
I'm the only one putting it out there, and wow.
I got Yanni.
And Kevin, I would have bet a lot of money. Yeah, but all right, folks, go sign up.
I
What's
was
that,
know,
Jake?
is it gonna be Yanni because the refs are gonna screw Colat? Is that the only reason?
Ooh, shots.
Hey, he had McKenna on his back. He didn't get any points for that.
Oh, I know. Like Yanni brings controversial too. Like that would be like
How much
Yeah.
would you not want to ref a Yanni freestyle match? How horrible would that be to have to ref one of those? It's
I
like
know.
every one of them. God.
All right, folks. Until next time, thanks for joining. Go sign up WrestleMadnessNow.com. And hey, guys, thanks for joining. It's been fun.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right, until
Thanks,
next time.
guys.